it true?
Da, 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 da.
Hey, this is Forever in a Day with C.
And K, period.
As you can see, we are enjoying each other's company.
Always.
And we welcome you to our channel where a lot of things will take place. But first and foremost, before we start anything and in any relationship, the most important thing that you should do is express your boundaries. So anything after that can be explained or expressed or just given that that is what you stand for, and there is no misinterpretation about it. So in any relationship to begin, the most important personal boundary that I have and I would like to be expressed on this channel is communication. Understanding, comprehension will not work, as I just said, if we're not expressing ourselves to each other, excuse me. You can't do that if you're in your feelings, right? You have to actually express your feelings to be able to get over them and not internalize them in such a way that perceives projections on maybe what you may experience on this channel between her as an individual, I as an individual, us collectively. If we communicate and have an understanding of any questions that are about building, not about any speculations or time frames or anything like that that has nothing to do.
You wouldn't get that anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's not about that.
No, it's not about that. It's about being vulnerable and being open to understanding the vulnerabilities of others.
And as he said, for him it's compassion. I mean, for him it's communication. For me it's compassion.
Okay, Elsa.
Because I think it's because I choose to operate out of empathy and compassion. And I'm learning for myself with my boundaries. I need compassionate. I need to approach things with more compassion. So that's an expectation that I would have for people that I choose to surround myself with.
Very well said.
Yes.
We're going to hit it right on the head. Keep going. We're going to hit you as fast as we can with the time, but be very concise with the substance. So what we will address our support group, if you will, throughout this time as day ones. Forever in a Day can't start without the first day. And if you understand from the beginning of our channel that this is what we are, this is what we stand for, you need to be vulnerable, you need to be patient, and you need to communicate. We would like those people that support us as subscribers, hopefully, first and foremost, please like and subscribe this video as we speak. Comment to be able to communicate, but also if you intend on contributing to the channel in any way, shape, or form outside of those things, such as a moderator or things of that nature.
Explain to them what you mean by moderator.
A moderator is someone that supports the channel, and I have some spaces on YouTube myself where I'm on the channel so much that those people that run the channel have me suit to be able to tailor the conversation to what we may be talking about versus what you may hear on the internet with negativity sometimes. And sometimes positivity with just focusing on one part of the conversation where that may not be. You know, just keeping the conversation tailor-made for what we are discussing. And right now we're discussing boundaries. For yourself and someone else that may be a part of our day ones, what would they need to be able to allow you to feel comfortable and safe?
To be open and honest.
I like that.
I operate out of honesty and openness. At least I strive to be. My trauma had caused me to shut that down, but that is who I am. And so, because I am choosing to show up like that, that is what I want to be around me. Honesty, openness, compassionate, empathetic type of people, willing to be vulnerable, willing to let that, what is that called, that mask?
Yeah, it would be a mask.
Subside and just be real. There's a lack of realness, I believe, in my personal beliefs. There's a lack of realness, and that's something that I want to bring back for sure.
So you would need those type of people to be around for that to be.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And that's why my circle is very small.
Yeah, because you'll be able to tell the difference between people that have actually been here throughout your musical journey, if you will, for example.
Yeah.
Versus,
I definitely had a rant yesterday.
Yeah, I think this is the time for us to address it. The first 5 minutes is about us telling you what we're looking for, and I would like to, conclude in that 5 that for you to be a part of our community, in order to see where I'm coming from, you have to be willing to contribute that as well. Again, you can't contribute something that may not be beneficial to us all if you're thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
So when you speak, just think about what we may be contributing to ourselves in our own time, and what we may be building to contribute to you through our own individual channels and this collective one here. But let's go right into it. You've seen a lot of things proliferate on the platform, on social media. I want you to, let's start right there. How did it make you feel when you saw, what did you see, and what did you take from that? Because I'll let you give your take, and I'll give my take on it, because it's something that people have to understand. This, you're going to get what you ask for, but exactly what are they asking for?
Right.
And what are we giving them is a different thing.
So, is it pertaining to the collective or the individual?
I would say that, so since you let the world know that this was a thing, CNK was a thing.
I mean, well, not just me. We both let them know that we have a channel. This was a collective decision. This was not a, I'm going to post
First and foremost, yes, first and foremost.
So, let's just be clear.
Right.
We're going to be clear with them from the beginning. This is clear, honest.
Any perception that it was one way versus another, what led to this being started?
Well, what led to CNK being started?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about it. Like we said, we're not going to disclose how long this has been. But we've been talking about this for a while. And it hadn't aligned just yet, but now it has. And it just makes the most sense at this time. And so we decided to do it because we both are people who don't operate out of an urgency to do this and do that and do this and do that, because it always gets done.
Yeah.
We both choose to operate out of our hearts, and we are moved by when we are told to, most times, right? And then when we feel that it's right to do so. So, that's how I choose to look at that.
Yeah, in addition, I would say what you are seeing is feminine discretion and masculine direction.
Yeah.
I felt like over the time of what could have been, whatever time that may have been, the beginning to where we are today, I felt like it was important that we build ourselves in a collective with each other to be able to have a foundation to share with you all. And in real life, with two people that kind of stepped outside of what they know to be able to do something much more than what we've never seen before, but also have the wherewithal to be able to withstand in a day-to-day lifestyle that requires things to get done at a certain place at a certain time. There's a middle ground for it, and in our middle ground, we decided that let's work on ourselves, let's work on each other, let's focus on the things that we need to focus on mentally, spiritually, and physically, and then let's go out collectively and emotionally, to be able to provide a perspective that connects to a lot of people's different difficulties within themselves. So you may have a struggle that may not relate to another person, but the processes they're in to be able to build is what we're providing. I think the time is now, because you see in yourself that you're able to build, and then you believe in someone else that they're doing the same thing.
Right.
Real conversations, real trauma relief, not bond, trauma relief with another person, and that's rare.
Because we chose to go to therapy first.
As individuals.
Before this had even become a thing.
To provide some insight. Right.
I had like a, what would you call it? Like a recollection or something like that. Like
an epiphany?
An epiphany.
Yeah.
I had an epiphany that I did not want to continue to have certain behaviors or deal with the same type of people anymore, and I recognized that I was the common denominator in a lot of situations, and just period, I was the common denominator, and so I made a sound decision to go and divulge with someone that doesn't know me at all, that could help me sort out those deeply rooted things that I was not ready or didn't even know how to begin to deal with. And so I was ready to make that change. I began to ask, why is this happening? Why do I do this? Why do I do that? Why do I take things so seriously? Why am I not able to give to myself what I give to others? Why do I pour out so much but don't pour in? So there was a lot of different questions that I began to ask, and that I wanted the answers to, and I wanted the help to, and I could not ask those people around me, because at the time the people around me were dealing with their own stuff, but they weren't getting help for it. They kept coming to me, and so it was just a lot. And then I was like, I need help with this. I need to figure this out. And so I decided to do that, and I think we decided to go to therapy, honestly, at the same time. But we still weren't,
if I may,
talking to each other at that point.
Yeah. Contrary to any belief, I was an individual and working through my personal PTSD disorder that I had developed since I was easily 11 years old. And pushing myself to some sort of idea of success led me to a remorseful mind state while losing important people in my life physically, literally my entire extended intermediate family by the time I was in high school. Aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, things of that nature that you would see from a day-to-day no longer being with you, and transitioning from that and wanting to stand and live for something. Not be constricted to like your day-to-day environment, if you will, but not being afraid of being from that environment, if you will. So surviving that and transitioning to a place where, okay, you no longer can use codependent identities from that environment to define who you are.
Yeah.
You reach a place that is rock bottom, but you like decompress a lot of the things that you kind of like just suck up as things that typically happen in your day-to-day.
Right.
And at 28, I would say that I was at a place where I was I think either ready to begin or beginning my journey to heal. And from that time onward, I was building myself and things of that nature, preparing, I would say, for where I am today. And I think that had to happen in order for me to notice when it would be time to even have this conversation with you all. Another question I wanted to leave with you as we move forward.
Yes.
You got a lot of DMs individually. You got a lot of requests and comments on the joint page, if you will, and it made you feel a certain type of way. How would you address that now, and how would you deal with problems, if you will, going forward with your day ones or extended supporters that need understanding and clearing?
Okay, so for me, just going back to my healing journey, for me, discernment and boundaries go hand in hand. And I lacked a lot of discernment. And so that's why my boundaries were all jacked up.
Okay.
So with these people that I have not talked to ever, and that I know don't really care for me that much, to all of a sudden want to be... How do I say that? All of a sudden want to, comment.
I would say intrigued. They're intrigued.
They're intrigued, I guess, mostly just trying to figure out what this is, and just... Is there
a respectful way of that being done, or do you just let them have it right here and there? Because, maybe it will be a moment when you let them have it, but...
I'm not going to let people have it.
Okay.
I am learning that I don't need to be like, all the time. But I still do, I'm working on it. That's what I'll say.
Well, let's work through it right in front of them right now. So how did it make you feel when you saw that these people...
I definitely felt a certain type of way, because I don't, like I said earlier on, I don't operate in a fake or phony matter, never have. And for me, I was willing to be like, up, no, block, block, block. Because that's how I choose to do my boundaries sometimes. It's like, I know that you don't mean me well, and I know you don't wish me well. So for me, I am going to just end this here because I don't want you in my space.
So how do you balance that to ensure that
I'm learning now that I don't have to do that all the time.
In this particular case, how would you help them?
I didn't block anybody. If anything, it's somebody is still going to need what I have been called to give.
Right.
So it's not about me. So I had to take it. I had to take that out. It's not about me. Not everybody is going to be genuine in their approach. Not everybody is going to be genuine, period. And that is not for me to be the judge of that. But I do have discernment. And so if they cross a boundary,
right,
then I am able to say, this is not okay.
That's exactly why you have boundaries.
So, and that's how I operate with my music. When I'm performing, I like to have everybody join in on one accord and meditate. We do a meditation or a petition. We say petition. You guys may say prayer. But before I do anything with a performance, and most of the time everybody is on one accord, but there may be a few people who don't want to operate in that.
Right.
And that's when I have them exit. Because I choose what I want in my space.
And online here it will look much like you will be blocked,
you will get blocked,
removed, any disrespectful comments or any particular derogatory terms or perspectives that may not make sense to what we're doing here.
Right.
If it's spewing any sort of negativity that doesn't even help the person saying it build, it's not necessary and it will be removed for the best.
Because the blocking isn't even for us, it's for you. Point blank, period. It's not even for us. We're not trying to be rude, malicious, hateful, spiteful, any of that. It's for you to take a look at yourself. Because we've had to deal with that. Maybe not in that same way, but everybody has that mirror moment.
And if that's what we are for you for the limited time that you're here, that's cool. But as far as day ones,
what about you though?
For me, and like I said, for the day ones, before we wrap up here, is that I don't expect for somebody that assumes a position to play a different role. In my personal life, the thing that has bothered me the most, that may come out throughout the rest of this conversation as we build this channel, is that you assume a position in a particular pecking order, or you just with a family, not a family, whatever the case may be. You assume that these roles contribute certain responsibilities.
Yeah.
And for me, I thrive in those situations. But when you step outside of that and you have egos, if you will, like, that is something that will, like, rub me the wrong way.
Yeah.
If you're conversing with me without logic and you assume for me to respect the position that you have had in a personal part of my life or professional part of my life, and you don't actually meet me halfway with the logic of what I'm saying out of my mouth, it defeats the purpose of us supporting one another in this setting. So I understand what you may assume of me, but a lot of you, I will say, a lot of you don't even know who I am. I repeat, a lot of you don't know who I am because I've never been able to showcase that to you all. If you read my book, you've gained insight into that. But as we move forward here, and as we conclude,
it's different when you're reading it than if you're actually experiencing the person. Because a lot of people really don't know who I am either.
Right.
You would be surprised who I am when if you actually knew me. Like, yeah. So you guys will probably see a bit of that, of who we are.
Yeah, you'll see all of that, but let it be known that we have boundaries. We respect the boundaries of other people.
Yeah.
And it's important that as we move forward, that we are respecting the space of our patients and our communication, so we can proliferate the boundaries in others and allow for people to no longer be vulnerable, just being who they are.
Yes. Also, did I cut you off?
No.
Okay.
Right
also, before we end this, we both are certified to be able to help people with anything that they may not want to discuss in the comments.
Right.
In two different ways. So we do have an email. Please feel free to email us if there may be something too personal that you don't want to discuss in the comments. We can definitely help you. Masculine and feminine, to be able to give you two different perspectives on things.
Right.
So don't ever feel like you can't or you don't have somebody to talk to.
The email is forever and ADAYC and spelled out ANDK
at AOL.com. That's for YouTube. So it is forever and a day, just like it is on the YouTube. CNK at AOL.com. And it is in the description. So, again, if you guys have anything that you want to discuss that you may not be able to talk to with anybody else, or you feel like maybe somebody may not understand it, we understand boundaries. So we understand not to overstep. Only if you give us the open door to speak, then we will. Anything else you have to say about conducting these boundaries we have before we close out?
No, just understand that we have substance, and that's what we want you to receive from this. Anything from that will be taken accordingly, and we thank you very much for just building with us.
Yes.
Until next week.
Until next week. We love you.
That's who she is to me. Till next time, man. Keep your sunshine. You understand me?
Izzle. Peace and love from Forever and a Day with
C
and K. Blessings.
For shizzle.